What's going on, guys? Today we are taking a look at Warbotron WB01-B, otherwise known as Heavy Noisy. I'm not making that name up. Heavy Noisy. The heck is that supposed to mean? Anyway, this is not Brawl from the Warbotron line, or Warbotron line, or Warbotron line. He's a pretty cool little figure. Same size as the other guy, and I have a slight mistransformation here. But there is a little bit of a difference with this guy, and, well, let's go ahead and get into the review. Tank Boy here makes me think of what, well, War for Cybertron Brawl was supposed to look like. He is going to transform into a slightly futuristic Earth tank, but I love the look of this. It's so clean, yet detailed at the same time. Posability is quite nice. Head is on a ball joint. Shoulders are on a set of swivels and hinges. There is a swivel underneath the shoulder. Bend is just a little bit under 90 degrees at the elbow. Wrists do move and hands do open. His shield does fall off. Shield can be held on both arms, and it's part of the tank turret. We'll put it off to the side right now. Torso does not move, or this is something that I've had a little bit of an issue with. It does move, but it clicks into place. And when it clicks into place, it is a little bit difficult to move. Ratchet in the hip with a swivel, though it is a very loose ratchet. Swivel above the knee. Bend at the knee for the transformation. There is some weird foot articulation going on here that is a little more annoying than it is cool. He has these heels in the back, which I wish these heels were tighter, but they're not, so they do move easily. Now, the foot articulation I was talking about. Part of the transformation has the entire shin moving, but as you see, there is a little bit of movement there in the foot on this hinge. So it does possess the ability to pose a little bit, though it doesn't look very clean. Now, based on the way the guy transforms, I'm okay with that. The figure comes with not one, but 3 weapons. He has these 2 little handguns that are held in robot mode, or they can be placed and plugged into his shoulder. So you can have him walking around like that. The other one is the main cannon in tank mode, and it can be wielded as a gun or a large cannon. He can dual wield it with 2 hands if you could get it posed right, but then he also has grenade launchers in the back. You fold these sections down that are by the little sight there, and then flip them forward. That works, kinda. I don't particularly like it. That's just because I think it looks kind of silly, because you're going to be holding a gun, a really big gun, and then have grenade launchers pointing at a 45-degree angle, or maybe that's about a 35, maybe 45-degree angle. It just looks weird. It would look cooler in the tank mode. Unfortunately, you can't deploy this way in the tank mode. Just a little odd. I do appreciate the little bit of flashing, or muzzle flash paint they have going on here at the front of the barrel. I really do like that. Heavy Noisy's transformation is much easier than that of his not blast-off. First off, take the shield here and peg the cannon down into the shield via that big green peg on the back of the cannon, and just kind of get it wiggled in there. It does take a bit of force, not gonna lie about that. So, there we go. Now, one thing that we do want to talk about is it does have the ability to raise up to, that's almost, I'd say, a 50, maybe 60-degree angle. I don't have a protractor on me, so I can't really tell. But this is the turret, obviously. For the robot mode itself, the transformation is actually pretty easy, but very, very cool. Take the arms and rotate them forward at the shoulders so they line up with the front of the vehicle mode, and then the forearms will collapse into the shoulders. Now, I'll talk about these in a little bit, but this requires a hell of a lot of force to get them to snap in correctly. Then come down to the legs and fold up his heels, And these panels behind his legs will actually fold up to the back of his legs, so it doesn't look like, or in robot mode they fold down so it doesn't look like he's hollow back there. And then you peg the legs together, and they will flip up along the back of the figure. So first we'll fold the other heels up, and flip the whole section up. Now, just as we're getting it to the end, we're going to take the feet and the shins and flip them around. And this little section at the back that's pegged in back here, we're going to point it so that it is perpendicular to the back of the figure. And then we could fold the head up into the back cavity, and fold the fist down, and then fold everything together such that the fists interlock into the bottom of the feet, or bottom of the legs, I should say. And that does take a little bit of finesse. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know the one thing I definitely lack is finesse. Next, we'll take that section that we had perpendicular, and it will fold down and peg into the peg holes that are right here at the backs of what are the feet. And sometimes this is easier said than done. Next, take the feet and fold them to the back of the tank. And then these side sections, which are the treads, they will accordion out and fold down and actually peg into the back of the treads. So accordion it out, fold it down, and it will peg right there into the bottom of the tread. And this actually locks the treads into the rest of the tank mode. Finally, we'll take the tank turret, drop it down and peg it into this peg hole right here, and add us some machine guns. And there we go. We has the tank mode. I really like the tank mode. I think it's just a fantastic little tank mode. And it is pretty small. It's nowhere near as big as the first Warbotron. Warbotron. Yeah, Warbotron. Yeah, that's right. It's not really that big, but it's just nicely detailed and nicely molded, and the plastic feels good. And the figure on the whole just feels good. There's some kibble on the bottom, but from the rest of the mode, the only thing you're going to see is kind of the top of the head. Other than that, it's just a really solid tank mode. The turret does turn, though unfortunately does not go all the way around. And as I said earlier, the barrel does lift up, which is a nice touch. Just an overall fun mode. Now, you might be wondering, how big is this thing? Well, as I said, it's not very big, so to compare it to a rescue bot. If you've been in Target, you've seen these little rescue bot guys. They're not that big. So it's about the size of a deluxe class, or I should say the alt mode is the size of a deluxe class figure. Maybe even a little smaller than some of the Generations class deluxes, which, I'm sorry, I don't really feel like transforming any of them right now, so that's why I'm comparing it to a rescue bot. So, there is one other thing we can do, and that is transform it into its limb mode, which is very simple. Take the turret, push it all the way up, and collapse the front of the turret down like that. Come to the front of the vehicle mode and unpeg the front of the tank, and just fold that completely down, flush against the bottom of the tank mode. And then that's it. There, you will split the legs apart and peg something in right there, like you would with, say, Hercules, or I think a better comparison would be for Uranus. But as far as the rest of the tank mode, or the leg mode, that's it. We're done. That's all there is. There's a connector right there in the front, and it'll attach to the foot. That's it. Overall, Heavy Noisy is a really nice figure. He's not cheap, though. But I'm really looking forward to the rest of the Warbotron figures. Now, the only issue I actually really have with the figure at all is just getting him back into bot mode. Sometimes, because of the tolerance of these peg holes, they're really hard to get out, so you need something to leverage them open. And then just getting him into robot mode from the tank mode, because everything goes together so well, is actually a little bit difficult. It's not super easy, and normally I wouldn't complain about that, especially if this was from Hasbro, but it is a little bit frustrating, and that's just me being slightly frustrated. The only true problem I have with the figure is pulling out the arms from the shoulders. When I tried this the other day, I couldn't do it. I didn't have the finger strength to do it. So these stay together so well that I actually end up having to take a screwdriver and loosening these two screws in order to pull the arms apart. That's how tight they are. And that's the only negative I have with this guy. He's a lot of fun and definitely worth having in your collection, especially if you're going to be picking up the rest of the Warbotron set. So guys, as usual, I'm Baltmatrix, taking a look at Warbotron WB01-B Heavy Noisy. And as usual, I'll catch you next time.